This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.
Welcome to What's News Dunedin, brought to you by Casa Valencia, the radio show that spawned from the 23,000 plus strong local Oti-Poti Dunedin What's News Dunedin Facebook group. The group has been put in the social back into social media since 2020 with respectful adult debate and a sense of humour. I'm your host Richard Knights. On today's show we're talking to our wonderful guest Rinad Tamimi, Between Olive Trees and Cold Seas, who will be telling us a bit more about themselves and what they do, as well as helping us look back at the posts that generate the most interactions over the past 7 days on the What's News Dunedin Facebook group. Those three topics this week is the topic that's on everyone's lips at the Dinosaur Park, the continuing conundrum that is Councillor Ong, and the government removing voting rights for iwi and other representatives on council committees. Welcome to the show, Rinad.
Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. Now, I think you're in my group on What's News Dunedin. Yes, you are, yeah. So we have a pun of the week. So we have a Pun Day Monday post, which we bring whoever wins the Pun Day Monday, they get their joke read out on the radio on Friday. So we're just going to see whether the joke comes off the page and turns into, a verbal laughs rather than just kind of laugh reacts on a social media page. So, pun of the week this week is, everyone laughed when I said I wanted to be a comedian. Well, they're not laughing now, are they? I think that's a good one. He keeps winning. We need to stop this. Max Reed, he's one of our pun Eden specialists. He just knows he's always got a good pun coming. So and he wins quite regularly. We just need to get a few more people kind of giving him a bit of a challenge, bringing their best puns. Now, also, before we start talking about the news and all those kind of things, the interesting stuff, we do have our 3 pop questions. So these are my questions that I ask all my guests, basically to see, I believe, to get under their skin, and kind of get to the inside of my guests. So, first question, cream teas. So where you have a scone, you have jam, you have cream. Question is, what goes on first, the jam or the cream?
The first thing that pops into my head when you say this now is Jill and Kelly.
Yeah, don't listen to them because they start giving people bad advice.
And to be fair, I've never had scones with cream or jam.
Right.
I like mine just with butter.
Fair enough.
But maybe the jam goes on first.
That's a good answer. We had Anna Knight on a couple of weeks back, and she'd been primed by Kelly and Jill, executive producers of the show, who told her to say the wrong thing because they knew how much it would rile me. And Anna delivered it with aplomb. She was like straight faced. Like I didn't, and she was like, "Oh, Jill and Kelly told me to say that." There's only one way to do it. Jam first.
Yep.
Cream next.
Yep.
And then that's
yeah, no, I can't think of it any other way.
No,
any
exactly.
Logical other way.
And Jill and Kelly would do it the same way. They just like to wind me up.
Yeah. They do.
Exactly.
And I love both of them. Either way, hello.
They're awesome human beings. Yeah.
They are.
I'm proud to have them as executive producers of the show.
Yes.
So, second question, and you can't get any questions wrong on my show from this point forward,
That's okay.
So we're all pretty good now. Who is your favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
I don't have an answer for that.
Do you know who they are?
No.
See, this is kind of for my era, so
Exactly.
Yeah, and so they're all named after Renaissance painters. So there's 4 turtles: Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo. And you can pick any one of those.
I'd probably go with Michelangelo, to be honest.
It's a cool name. Mikey's cool. So as a turtle, that's absolutely fine.
Learned something new today.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. So it wasn't until I was very, very old that I realised that they were all Renaissance painters.
Oh.
I just used to know them, when we were chums back in the day, that I just used to know them by their names. And they changed it. So it's a strange. There's an interesting tidbit for you while we're learning. There were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then what happened was there was a big uproar that they didn't like the ninja connotation, so they became Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Yep.
But they were still doing all the ninja stuff in the show, so they ended up going back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So they kind of came full circle because the actual show style hadn't changed, just the name. It was like, there you go.
Oh, interesting.
Anyway, this is a thinker, the third question. So you have a think about this. You might know the answer straight away, but you can have some time. Would you rather sing well and dance poorly, or sing poorly and dance well?
I think sing well and dance poorly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think you take that
I'd
one?
rather have a better voice than
better rhythm.
Yeah.
I think I'm the same.
Yeah.
If I'm not a bad singer, so I'm not worried about my dancing. You can just stand there if you're singing. You just stand there, don't move a lot. I've seen a few singers like that. They actually when they're kind of dancing, they're actually pretty rubbish. But singing, I'll take the singing every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Easy. So that's the hard bit done of the show, right? So the next bit just gets easier, right, from this point forward. So we're going to go back and talk about the topics of the week, right? So the first topic on everyone's tongue, it seems to be across the nation, everyone's screaming and yelling about it, is the dinosaur park.
Yep.
Okay, so to throw down some sort of background to that, there was a workshop for the councillors last week, I believe it was, or either early this week or late last week, where basically they were talking about the fact that they've already said and set aside in a budget of something like $4.6 million to renew Milo Park, which is fondly known as the Dinosaur Park due to the dinosaur slide, right? So that's already in the budget. That's already been talked about. They took out some of the. They took out Chingford Park out of the when they were talking about the annual plan deliberations. They took out Chingford Park for renewal as well. So this money's been put aside for a long time. So they had a workshop about it, and the workshop basically was to say, "Hey, look, this is the current state of the park as we understand it. No decisions have been made, but we'll be looking at bringing some design work back to council in order for consultation and all that kind of stuff. And it'll probably go out to public consultation as well because it's quite a major piece of work." One of the councillors, who remain anonymous, but has spent a lot of time on radio since, kind of picked up on the fact that some of the design potentials didn't include the existing dinosaur slide. Ran straight to social media to go, save the dinosaur. And there's been outrage ever since. Right? Everyone is screaming and yelling. Yeah. But I put a post up on the page literally about 15 minutes before. It's like, and then ODT picked it up, and then everyone's going, save the dinosaur. Everyone's going mad. Everyone's literally losing their minds about a dinosaur that needs saving when a decision hasn't been made to get rid of the dinosaur.
No, yeah.
And I put a post up, say about 15 minutes ago, which maybe a bit more, which was talking about rage baiting, which is something where you kind of you send something into the internet ether, which is designed to garner anger and outrage and all that kind of stuff, in order to kind of bring people to you, kind of going, but I disagree with it, and that's what's happened. ODT have done it, certain councillors have done it. And I'm just shaking my head at it because actually, and you've got people going, "Oh, we've saved the dinosaur." No one's done anything. It's literally council have just gone, "Here is some. We're going to come back with some options." Now, all those options may include
the dinosaur.
Yeah, but we don't know yet.
No, we don't know.
And it's like outrage for the sake of outrage, and it's something I see. I spend a lot of my time on social media, as you well know. I see more and more of it, and I try and cut through some of that sometimes to kind of go, everyone's getting worked up about it. Like, people are angry about it, And
I saw the comments. Yes.
Yeah. What's your take on it?
Well, I think we don't know what's happening. So once we know, then we can rage about it.
Yeah.
But it's also not a bad thing to rage about it before something happens. So then we try and not make it happen. But I know that Dunedin doesn't have much of an entertainment for kids. And that dinosaur slide is one of the biggest things, most popular destination, Dunedin-wise, for kids. So I know my daughter would be upset if that dinosaur slide gets taken down.
What about take that dinosaur down and put a new dinosaur in its place?
Oh, then yeah. If it's a new design or something that's going to make the park look a lot better, then why not?
Yeah. Because that's the thing I'm thinking about. I mean, I've taken my grandkids to the dinosaur park. It's only called the dinosaur park because people have decided to call it the dinosaur park. It's not its real name. Milo Park. First time someone said Milo Park to me, I was like, "Where's that? Dinosaur Park." Oh yeah, I know where I'm going. But it could have quite easily been called the Whale Park, like with the whale that's in there, or the Road Map Park. I mean, it's just what people have kind of coined it over the years, right? But I'm looking at that kind of going, my kids have had lots of fun on that slide, right? But in my mind, if you do the whole park up and that's the one bit that you leave as is, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm quite open to the fact that actually, do it. Whatever you decide on, I'm not going to have real much strong opinion on any of it. I think something dinosaur needs to stay in the park.
Yeah.
But whether you take it down and put something up that's brand new, spanking new, and 10 times better in the shape of a dinosaur, me and my kids will be quite happy with that too.
I think I would be too, with renewing it to something that looks better.
Yeah.
But you're right, if they change the whole park and then have it sitting there, the same as it
as
is,
this blue concrete.
then
like,
it's not going to look as nice.
No.
And I think it is about time that we do that in Dunedin.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as it doesn't go away, whether they renew it or not do anything to the park, then I think people will be happy.
Yeah, I think it makes
Most
sense.
people.
It makes sense to keep the dinosaur of some description, but it's like, but it doesn't actually
Maybe a bigger dinosaur.
bigger and better.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, if
Maybe
you're
2 dinosaurs at once.
intertwining dinosaurs,
Yep.
double slide.
Oh, I'm sure there's so many concepts out there that they can look
Exactly.
at.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they come back with.
Same.
To be completely fair. And whilst I hear what you're saying about sometimes it's good to be outraged beforehand, but actually we haven't made a decision yet.
No.
So it's like I think people have heard dinosaurs sounds good, right? The general outcry is keep a dinosaur. How they keep that dinosaur? I personally would think that I'd rather see a brand new dinosaur than keep the old one and everything else around it's kind of all fresh new and spanking new, and everyone's going, where did that old thing come from?
Yep. Me too.
But
Yes.
there you go. Second topic of the week, the continuing conundrum that is Councillor Wrong. It seems like every day, genuinely, he's in the news for something. I feel that he's pushing that agenda very strongly himself, because I think he feels that if he doesn't, he won't be seen or be heard. But it was an interesting one last week where he's always said, like from the when he appeared on the scene, he's always said that he was born in Dunedin, bred in Sydney. Yeah, so that's fine. It doesn't matter where. To me, it doesn't matter where you're born. I'm born in London.
Yep.
Bred in Essex. Now live in Dunedin.
Yep.
But then there was a post on his page where he kind of called out a Scoop journalist for saying that he was born in Dunedin. So he's basically turned around and said, "I wasn't born in Dunedin. It's my hometown, but I wasn't born in Dunedin." And then started making comment around who's making up these fake birther, very much like Obama, the whole Obama thing where people saying he was born in wherever he was born. This fake birther theory about me. Well, he started it. Like he created his own.
Yeah.
He created his own theory,
Yeah.
and then later on, he's come back on. He was on the platform the other day on the Michael Law's platform show. The interview things very similar to this kind of show, but I'd say ours is better. But then saying, "Of course, I was born in Dunedin." Why are people saying that I wasn't? Well, because you said it. Like not because anyone else, not because someone else has come in and gone.
He's contradicted himself.
He's literally contradicted himself, and so people have been asking him, saying, "Hey, you're contradicting yourself." You are, and I've been on his page looking, and people are asking, "You said you were born in Dunedin, but now you said that you weren't born in Dunedin.
Which one is right?
Which one is it?"
Yep.
And he's getting massively up in arms about people questioning where he was born. Well, they're only doing that
Because you've done that
because you said something contrary to what you've been saying
for years.
since you arrived back in Dunedin. Which again, to me, is like, why? I question the reason why someone's doing that, right? Because it's not something you forget, right? It's not like you don't forget your favourite colour, right? You don't forget where you were born. You don't forget your birthday. These things are kind of set in stone, right?
Of course.
So why say that you weren't when you know that you are? What's your end game here?
Yeah.
It feels very much literally to just drive people to engage. But in my mind, there's better ways to do that.
There are, and not about a certain, as you said, it's stuff that stay with you and stuff that doesn't change. Like, it's not going to change where you were born.
No.
And also, you could be born anywhere. It doesn't really
No one
decide who
cares.
you are. No
Yeah.
one cares. But you've just said that you were not born in a place that you said you were born in. So
Yeah, it's like, but in my mind, I see more and more of this, and you kind of look at that and kind of go, trying to read between the lines of that is the confusing bit for me, because are we seeing someone that has some health issues? Or, are we seeing someone that is? I almost feel sometimes that we're watching someone having a breakdown, and that feels cruel, right? Genuinely, because he's not getting a lot of support online. He's just had his security camera stolen by someone. Yes, that's in the news today. Someone literally, while he was at the council meeting yesterday, someone's literally turned up at his house and they've got the cameras must have still been working. They've got some images of someone that's literally taken down 2 security cams of its house. Now,
that is sad.
one should go through that.
No.
I don't care what your politics are. I don't care whether you are like far left, far right, somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. As an elected representative, anyone does not deserve to have to live in that kind of abusive situation.
Yeah, definitely.
He's mentioned that he's had some online abuse as well. Now, he has. I've seen some of it physically online.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that some of the stuff that he's been sent privately, because I certainly get that too, is a hell of a lot worse than what you see in public, and he does not deserve that.
No,
right? He absolutely does not.
No one
deserve
does.
that.
No one does.
No, and genuinely, if he's listening, and I don't think he would be, if he wants to reach out and talk to me about it, because I've got some serious experience about it, more than happy to point him in the right direction. But but I shouldn't have that experience either. I get that for just running a page where I ask people to be civil, right? But the abuse you get can be quite.
Yeah, bullying is not okay. No.
No, exactly.
And,
but again, it's almost every day. Every day he's in the paper.
Every day there's something new.
Something new, and he's become infamous for leaking information and bits and pieces. And again, there was a post. I found this interesting. There was a post on his page this week where he alluded to the fact that he'd leaked something. Right, so he's leaked something confidential to One News and RNZ, and he was quite miffed that they hadn't picked up on it and run a story. Which again, what are you?
Where are you trying to get to?
What's your end goal here?
Yeah.
Because if it's serving your public, like you continually say that you're doing, that doesn't serve anyone but you.
Yeah.
That's self-serving rather than serve. In my mind, that's and it's he was absolutely miffed that he'd sent something that was clearly confidential to a couple of news outlets, and neither of them had picked up on whatever it was he was putting down. And that's, to me, is...
Strange. Yeah.
And again, I worry that what we might be seeing is someone unravelling in real time. And I don't want to see that. Genuinely, that's not something that any of us should be a spectator to.
No.
So,
I wonder what's coming next. You're right. It's
concerning.
The more you look into it, the more concerning it looks.
Yeah, and I'm not saying concerning it. I don't care about his effectiveness around the table. Someone voted him there, right? So that's okay. That's absolutely what the public wanted, him there at the table doing whatever he does, right? But I do not want to see a human being unravelling in real life. I do not want to see a human being attacked in real life. I do not want to see a human being abused, and all those things going on there. And also at the same time, I don't want to see a human being lying to me in real life. One of my public representatives, when you can break through the lie so easily, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. Same?
Yeah, no, totally agree. Yeah,
fair enough. Let's move on to the government removing voting rights for iwi and other representatives on council committees. Now, again, this is a really strange one. There's been some changes that have gone on in the to the Local Governments Act, basically, which has been to select committee. So it's kind of done the submission stage, come back, and then suddenly, at the 11th hour, which means that it doesn't have to go back through any kind of scrutiny, the government has added in this legislation to basically say that any non-elected representative on committees will no longer be allowed. Which, again, it's kind of underhanded, backdoor kind of legislation, because it's gone through a select committee process where people could actually stand up and talk about it. And now they've added it in last minute, and they don't have to do anything other than add it in. It's like an amendment. So that means that we've got all these committees. We've just had it happen in the DCC, the grants subcommittee, which has got a certain number of councillors, plus it's also got representatives from Mana Whenua and also from various community organisations, sort of making decisions around grants. You've got the Audit and Risk Committee, which is actually chaired by an independent person that's not on council, in order for that to be a transparent and independent committee that is supposedly above corruption, because of the fact that it's not just all councillors or just all elected representatives. And then suddenly the people going, you're not allowed to do that anymore. Well, there kind of seems like to be like, it feels very iwi focused, in the sense of it's all about like mana whenua representation.
Yeah.
But there are some knock-on effects here that do not seem to be considered at all. And it's ACT that are championing, we made it happen, which always worries me because ACT are probably the worst and most racist and aggressive of the parties that are in the coalition of chaos at the moment. And suddenly they're kind of going, hey, it's a celebration, we've got this stuff done. Thoughts?
No, I agree with you. It's like it was done at a stupid hour at night and then decided, and then it's out to the public, and yep, you just have to go with it. So since when is that okay?
No, exactly. Since when do we like circumnavigate the select committee process? And it feels intentional as well, because they could have, if that was their intention, they could have brought it in.
Yep, and then
had that conversation.
For people to look at.
Have
and
the
then,
submissions, have everything at that poll.
Especially for voting, and that's just not on.
No. Because, and what people don't seem to realise is, again, it's just, and you see it online a lot, is the misunderstanding for people. People are going, that's right, no one should have a vote round council if they weren't elected. These aren't council positions. These aren't council meetings. These are committees. These are below council. Everything that happens in that hierarchy down below has to come through council for ultimate validation and verification.
Yep.
So if you've got this grant subcommittee, for example, and they go and you've got a couple of representatives that are iwi, or you've got a couple of representatives that are community-based or whatever, and they make a decision to pass up to council, council can literally go, nah. That's not the decision. The decision doesn't happen there, right? The recommendation comes up. And that that's why are people so this is the bit for me, this is the hypocrisy for me, right? If you ask the public, they'll say to you, why don't they ask me? They never ask me, they never consult me. Right? So you get this situation where you put people into the consulting the committee process to be the voice of the people that are saying they never get a voice.
Yep. And then
and then they're over the moon when they say those people aren't going to be voting anymore. And you kind of go, but you've been screaming all along that you wanted more voice, and this is an absolute method to give you more voice, including mana whenua voice, which is
of course,
it's we're in totality, we've got a partnership. These things have to happen, but you are literally applauding them taking away some of your voice, because you can go and talk to that community representative and get your voice heard via that committee, which then comes up to council. It's like this.
It doesn't make sense.
Hypocrisy
it is
to me
hypocrisy.
Is absolutely crazy. And
it doesn't make sense.
It's those people that are wanting more. Listen to the ratepayers more.
They don't go by the name of the intention.
And it's mad.
It is.
Well, there you go.
I must look more into it.
Yeah, it's
topic of the week.
Only just happened in the last week.
Crazy.
And it's just, but again, there's lots of these little things that happen in the background. And when I found out today that there was an article, the Cancer Society have come out and said they've changed the rules around donations. If you make a donation, you can claim some tax back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So lots of people make lots of donations, and they get a little bit of money back for making that donation, which encourages obviously charitable giving, because you kind of go, there's $1 million, but
you give and you take.
You get and some take. But they've restricted that, and I didn't even notice it happened. They've literally brought some legislation, restricted that to $100,000 a year. Right. Which then means that some of those big philanthropic donators won't get that tax back. So a lot of those places that rely on those big donations won't get those big donations, because actually you've just kind of discouraged that philanthropic kind of
that's not good either.
Giving back.
No.
And again, it's been kind of done we're closing loopholes, whatever. No, you actually just you're saving a bit of tax over here. But if you restrict that giving as a government, at some point that charity's coming at you and going, well, I've not been given it anymore. Can I come and get it from you? Because we still need it. A Cancer Society talking about someone they got a $30 million building that they're going up. They've had $10 million already, and they're expecting another $20 million to kind of come in through these kind of bigger donations. Yeah. And that's discouraging now people to actually make those donations.
It is.
But again, that's legislation that's kind of like just slipped past while no one's kind of...
Oh, such a big disadvantage.
No one's kind of paying any attention to it, which is kind of crazy. But it's just, again, it's another example of that kind of like, unless you're watching
things
everything...
that happen under the table and it would just slip by if
unless
you're not watching and paying attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the trouble is there's so much to pay attention to these days. It's
Yes,
hard to be literally give yourself whiplash looking in every direction. And then we'll probably come on to that a little bit more on the second half of the show, which is where we're going to now. So before we talk about you, we're going to get a quick word from our wonderful, wonderful sponsor.
Dunedin, meet your new favourite bakery. Casa Valencia at 53 Musselburgh Rise is serving up freshly baked bread, pastries and gorgeous cakes. And if you haven't tried the ube donut yet, you are seriously missing out. Our signature purple yam donut and purple yam drink are the must-try combos your taste buds have been waiting for. Pair it all with a hot or cold drink, grab a cake for someone special and make your day a little sweeter. Casa Valencia, 53 Musselburgh Rise, Dunedin. Open Monday to Saturday, 9am to 5pm. See you there.
Have you been to Casa Valencia?
No, I don't live out that way, so I guess it's a bit out of my way. But now that I've heard about it, it does sound good.
It's 3 doors down from where I work.
Oh.
So I have lunch there pretty much every single day.
Oh, yum.
And it's fantastic. Filipino bakery, and they just, fantastic people, but the food is just like glorious.
Oh, it sounds like I need to try it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it to anybody. Like,
Nice.
so I was there before I came on the show.
Oh, nice. What did you have today?
I have empanadas normally. One of they do this chicken empanada, and they do a beef mince empanada. And
who mentioned this to me? I think they've been open for a while,
about
right?
3 years now. Yeah.
No, someone at work did mention that to me because now that you've said
empanadas.
Yeah, that does ring a bell.
Yeah, and they do this on a Friday. They do probably the nicest donut I've ever eaten in my entire life. It's a twisted donut just covered in a bit of sugar.
Oh.
And it's just like...
Yum.
And it's normally still warm when I get it as well because I go in early.
Yeah.
So, and it's glorious.
Yeah, nice.
2 empanadas and a twisted donut, and I'm set for at least an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least.
At least an hour.
That's good.
At least an hour.
You wouldn't last a minute in Ramadan.
No, I think I would. I genuinely know I would struggle. Like I'm food driven, Rinad. I'm food driven all the way down.
Yep.
You wouldn't guess looking at me. But
no.
There's a much bigger person inside this person trying to get out.
Oh, I wonder where it all goes.
I've just got a high metabolism.
Yeah.
I thought it was when I was a smoker. I thought it was down to my smoking, but I've been giving up smoking for 20-something years.
Oh, well done. 21, Good job.
21 years. What's the date? I was June. 21 years on the 21st of July.
Yeah.
So it's not that either, because I kind of expected when I stopped smoking, I thought I would start to balloon out, maybe look like the Michelin Man, but that's okay because I like my food, and it didn't happen.
Oh well, keep enjoying that then. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking at.
It's a gift from God.
Yeah, either that or a tapeworm.
Yeah,
because that could be the other. Maybe I just got parasites. I've got no idea. Anyway, I'm hoping it's not that.
Yeah,
to be
hopefully.
fair, hopefully it's not that. Anyway, we want to talk about you, why you're here, what you're talking about, what you're about as well. So perhaps can give our listeners the 5-minute Cliff Note version of Rinad, or what brings you to the things you do and where you are in life, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try and do it under 5 minutes.
That's all right.
Those that know me, they know I love talking. So
perfect for a radio show.
Yes, well, Rinad Tamimi, I come from Hebron, Palestine. I have been in New Zealand for since 2008. I turned 31 yesterday.
Happy birthday.
So thank you. And June is actually my happy month. I like June. It's just my birthday month. It's my happy month. It's when you get your IRD tax return. It's just it's my happy month. And also because I'm the only one in the family that their birthday is in June, so I don't have to share that month with anyone.
That's
nice. So the attention can all be on me.
Perfect.
I work for an energy company, so I work in a call centre here in Dunedin. I absolutely love my job because I get to help people out every single day, whether it's troubleshooting, whether it is sorting out their billing, whatever they might need help with. Again, I love talking, so my job fits in just well, talking to people, finding out their needs and their wants. I do have a child. She does turn 6 next month, and that just keeps me very, very busy. I do have the Watermelon Report on ORFM, but that I record comes out every Thursday on ORFM, and that is called, the Watermelon Report, where we're sowing the seeds of peace, seeds of justice, where I take that as a space for me and for my Palestinian community, where I can just bring in anything and talk about and have a voice for us here. So thank you again, ORFM, for that.
They're fantastic people,
They are amazing people. And yeah, I love food too. I love trying out new food places as well. Our culture is full of good food though, so I love my mum's cooking. I love my mum-in-law's cooking. Just a shout out for them while I'm here.
So tell me about your show on ORFM. What's that? I mean, obviously, I've got a very different kind of show. What's the format of your show? Are you talking to Palestinian whānau, or
it's basically just, I guess, bringing update. Well, So how this show started was ORFM suggested it to me, since all the things were happening in Palestine and still are happening, which I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So basically I bring in updates from back home or from around the world, since now more countries are involved in this craziness that's going on at the moment and been ongoing for 3 years in this most recent form. So I just bring in updates from Gaza, from Palestine, from Lebanon, from Syria, from whatever's going on around the world, but also try and bring in a cultural perspective, whether it's a food recipe from home or whether it's a poem or a story that I've read someone write online. So I try and have a mixture of things, but it is mostly updates from home from that past week, because it's a weekly show.
I'm with you. So I'd be very interested, if you're accepting of this, to kind of give us a bit of an insight from your point of view with regards to the conflict that is in the Middle East. Because as you say, it happened. It started in anger 3 years ago, like as an escalation from. There's been something's been going on for 70 odd years, right? So it's not a new thing, and a lot of people think that October the 7th incident was the beginning of the thing, but it wasn't. There's 70 years of history before that. But one of the things that we talked about before is, like, you can get whiplash, like, looking in all places all the time. So one of the things that happened obviously was the Palestinian thing. There's a lot of attention was focused on that, and then Trump comes along and then starts a war with Iran as well, right? And then of course now we don't hear about Palestine in the press anymore, because the media has a very short attention span and flicks on. It's like a butterfly flicking on from things to things,
and brainwashed too.
But the thing is, it's still happening, right?
100%.
So I'd be very interested in your take and how you see what's going on in the Middle East right now. In my mind, and Trump has started an illegal war. He certainly wasn't very helpful with the Palestine situation to start off with. So let's forget about that. Not forget about it, but he doesn't deserve any accolades for anything that's happened there. No. But it's almost like a distraction from one to the next.
Yeah,
it's like,
really
if I throw a bomb over there, like, maybe they'll forget about the bombs I threw over here. So I would be interested in your kind of take on what is happening right now, and maybe giving us some of that background that's still going on in Palestine, because you've got lots of things going on. You've got Israel, Lebanon, you got US, Israel, Iran, you've got Palestine, Israel. There's some.
It's very complicated.
So, are you able to give me the simple version for me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, even I don't understand. Coming from the Middle East up until today, I still can't even comprehend what's going on up until today. But I guess, as you said, spot on, it is really a distraction. People in Gaza are still being bombed. People in Gaza are still being starved to death, bombed. Prisoners, so many thousands of prisoners are still illegally held in prison for no reason. Medical aid, nothing is being let into Gaza. Basically, it's whatever started happening 3 years ago now has just, it's been happening every single day. But then when they brought in all these other countries and bombing other countries and involving other countries, it is really a distraction. And what they're trying to do is ethnic cleanse. What they're trying to do is basically take over Gaza and the Middle East eventually. Because if you look at if you Google the map of Israel online, you would see that more than just Palestine is involved. So the way I see it as a Palestinian, it is a distraction from what is happening in Palestine. And having visit home just the end of last year, November last year, I could see that Israel has just gotten ruthless. They do not care who they kill. They do not care who they starve. They do not care what checkpoint they have where, because the world has let them get on with so much.
And it's someone like me, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Right? Like genuinely, that's obvious, right? Mm-hmm. But then you look around the world, and it's been condoned by so many different areas of political or geopolitical power. Like, yeah. and this is the bit that I really struggle with. Like, where is this is not right, right? Because I don't care. I don't care who you are, right? Mm-hmm. I don't care what country you're from. But if you want to impose your might or your, or kill other people, I don't think that's right. I don't care whether you're New Zealand, whether you're Israel, whether you're Palestine. I don't like that. Is to me is not
killing is not on.
Killing's not the answer. Like genuinely, killing's not the answer. No. But in 2026, we still have a primeval instinct to attack and destroy, which is I like to think as a civilized human being doesn't sit well with me, right? No. And I would like to think it doesn't sit well with
everyone,
because that's the kind of that's I joke around with the I'm a lover, not a fighter, right? I haven't thrown a punch in anger since I was a young teenage boy, and I'm proud of the fact that I haven't. But the fact of the matter is that I don't see that as an answer to my problems. No. So it's not like I've been set upon in that time and I've lost lots of fights. I haven't. I win the conflicts verbally that I engage in, right? But I don't have to throw a punch to satisfy that, in order to win. The thing with Iran is that there was a regime there that was horrible, right? And so no one's kind of denying the fact that the whole regime thing in Iran, which was being horrible to their own people, etc., and women and everything else that's there. But they didn't start the fight. They didn't start. Israel and the US have come in and gone, we're going to fix this. Well, it's like how do you kind of square that away and kind of go, and there was a problem there that's got nothing to do with me that I've decided that I'm going to fix. But I don't think they would have tried to fix it if there wasn't oil involved. No,
exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's all about oil. It's all about power.
Yeah.
And it's all about money, but not human beings.
No. And that's just, it feels so wrong at so many levels. How was it going home? What was it like? I mean, is it, I'm imagining it's not easy to go home.
No, and it wasn't. The main reason that encouraged us to go home at the time was my granddad having a stroke and being in hospital at the time. He's now passed away last month. So Allah yarhamu, may God accept him in paradise, inshallah. We were, as a family, we were actually planning on going home like this year in April, where it's going to be, spring there and many different reasons. And because we thought, not that there is a ceasefire at the moment, no way, but because it was about time we just go home, and we missed home, and home is home. So no, it's not easy to get home to start off with. Flying there, so many flights, so many hours to get there. You get to Jordan, And after you get to Jordan, you have to wait for the border to be open to cross from Jordan to Palestine, because as Palestinians who hold the Palestinian ID, you cannot go into you can't go into you can't use the Israeli airport, let's say. So we have to go through Jordan. We have to cross through Jordan by land. So that would involve going through the Jordanian border, then the Israeli, then the Palestinian border. So that trip on its own is one trip, and then the flying is another trip. Very hectic, lots of questioning, lots of anxiety, lots of, oh my God, am I going to actually be let into my own land? But we got there, and I am so grateful I was able to go home, be with my people, be with people that look and talk like me, just simply be home, smell the soil, eat the food, so many childhood memories. I hadn't been home for 9 years before this visit, so it was really touching for me. And ever since, I'm still trying to cope every day now, being back here and not being at home. Yeah.
I'm not sure you better explain this to someone that's not been there, but like I had Ala Sukkar on the show a little while ago, who's a refugee from Syria, and him explaining some of his home experience to me was something was genuinely like him talking like he'd come from an alien planet, because it was so very different to my own personal upbringing, right? You know, you kind of think, oh, I had it tough as a kid. No, when you look at that, when some of the stuff that he spoke about left me struggling to find a word, you know, and that's for me that's very unusual, right?
Yeah.
Maybe for the people listening, maybe can you explain some of the differences? What's it like in Palestine right now? What's it like being home?
Unsettling, very unsettling. You could leave your house in the morning and you just can't guarantee being back that day, because you could randomly be arrested, you could randomly be shot, you could randomly just be taken, and no one will know.
By who?
By the Israeli army, by the occupation forces.
Right.
So I'll talk about Hebron, because that's where I'm from and that's where I visited mostly. Throughout in town, for example, or the old city of Hebron, there are what we call Israeli soldier settlers who live in the old city of Hebron. But also you see tanks everywhere, you see soldiers everywhere. They can walk around the city whenever they want and wherever they want. They can shoot whoever they want. It feels very unsettling. They could just be wherever they decide to close shops, for example. All of a sudden, they decide to close the entrance of the city, so you can't get in or can't get out. So, for example, while I was there, I was hoping that the border wouldn't close because I wouldn't be able to come back home. And then if they close the border or the entrance of the city, it's not like they tell you, oh, we're going to open it at this hour. No, they get to decide on that. When my granddad passed away, it took my uncle what should have taken him an hour of a drive between cities to get to bury his father. It took him over 6 hours to get there, just because of checkpoints and waiting around and not having an idea what's going on. So Palestine is occupied. We do now know that it is occupied. But I guess what people don't see is that Israel does control every cent in Palestine. Some teachers don't get their salaries for months. They only get a part of it. Exporting, importing, it's all gotten a lot more difficult since October 7th.
Right.
Yeah, a lot more strict.
So you could leave your house in the morning.
Yep.
And then literally disappear.
Yep. Anything could happen to you.
Right.
Because it's an occupied land and they're trying to ethnic cleanse us.
And that genuinely breaks my heart. Like I'm sitting here in 2026 listening to that and kind of going, that does not gel with my entire worldview. Right, and that's not because I'm ignorant. Like, again, it's not. Maybe I am ignorant. Like, maybe I am. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit. I'd like to think I'm a fairly well-read, I look around the world and I pay attention. All right, but like, that is literally something that I cannot physically, mentally comprehend because it seems so far beyond the realms of what is reasonable. That I can't get it, and then now, like as I'm listening to it, I become more angry at the people that are just going, that just go, oh, it's nothing. It's like what are you moaning about right now? Yep. Why are you up in? Why are you marching in? Why are you marching in the street?
Yep.
Well, I know why. I kind of knew why you're marching in the street before, but it feels so much more real.
Yeah, no, I think New Zealand's just so far away. People are so laid back here. People are stuck in their own little bubbles, let's put it that way. Not everyone, of course. There's so many people who I absolutely love and so many good supporters. But at least know what's going on outside. Like, we don't want you to support. We don't want you to be on our side. There are no sides here. It's really just humanity at this point. But at least know what's going on. At least have the knowledge. At least look it up. Just Google it or, go and research. We're not asking you to read books and books, but don't come up to me and act as if nothing is happening.
Yeah, because it definitely is, isn't it?
Yep.
I want to come back to something in a second, but before we do, just going to get another quick word from our wonderful sponsor.
Yep.
Dunedin, meet your new favourite bakery. Casa Valencia at 53 Musselburgh Rise is serving up freshly baked bread, pastries and gorgeous cakes. And if you haven't tried the ube donut yet, you are seriously missing out. Our signature purple yam donut and purple yam drink are the must-try combos your taste buds have been waiting for. Pair it all with a hot or cold drink, grab a cake for someone special and make your day a little sweeter. Casa Valencia, 53 Musselburgh Rise, Dunedin. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. See you there.
So we would appear from, again, me looking in from very much from the outside, that we've got a fairly strong Palestinian sort of Whānau community here in Dunedin. How big is that? Can you put a number on it, or is it hard to sort of say?
As in Palestinians?
And
or just you mean just the solidarity group?
And the solidarity as well.
If I put it to numbers, let's say the obvious, you'd look at maybe 1,000, maybe. Maybe I say that based on the group, the Facebook page, which is Dunedin Justice for Palestine.
Yeah.
It's probably got just less than 2,000 on it. But, yeah, I'd say that. But then there are the people who are in the middle or can't decide what they want to think or where to stand, or the people that don't want to look like they're supporting, but then they would look at me wearing a kufi and be like, oh, I like your scarf, or I like your necklace, or I like your bracelet. And I'm like, why are you shy? Why are you embarrassed to show your solidarity? For us Palestinians nowadays, what matters is seeing people supporting us and seeing people just feeling for us, or at least, again, be aware of what's going on. Yeah. So why are you embarrassed to say, like, okay, yes, you like my scarf, but why do you like my scarf? We both know that it's a Palestinian cultural item.
And I see the racists, right? I see the racists all the time because I spend too much time in social media, and it's a great place for racists, to be completely fair, because you can say stuff that you without getting a punch in the face. I genuinely think that somewhere in the line, AI should develop something where you could still punch someone in the face across social media. I've been saying that for years. Like, not hard, just a little tap to go, like, out of order, mate.
Little nudge.
Out of order. Anyways, that's an aside. But I see the people going, the scarf wearers, the people that support and wearing scarves. Maybe, if you can, explain how important that solidarity is to the community, because to me, I stand in solidarity, right? You know,
Yeah.
I absolutely do. I wear
I know you do.
I wear
Yeah.
my Palestinian badge. And I get great compliments on the badge because I've got the fist one.
Yeah.
And people talk about it all the time, right? And I support, right? And I'm vocal in my support, and I will never be quiet in my support. But perhaps people listening that are in that kind of, I like your scarf, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
Maybe explain, if you can, like why that support is so damn important to people that are literally thousands and thousands of miles from where they ideally really want to be, which is home.
Yeah. It is very important. I think the most important bit of it is that it does, as Palestinians, give us hope. We do know that Palestine will be free one day, inshallah, whether it's tomorrow or in 100 years. We do know that is coming. But we have just become so depressed, so low vibes, just not even, sometimes I don't even have the energy to talk to people about things because I've simply had enough. But instead of, I guess, saying I like your scarf, and don't get me wrong, people have their own reasons to say certain things, and I love getting compliments on my Palestinian merch. But you can also talk to us and ask us questions. We're not scary. We're going to answer the questions. So be curious. Ask if you want to ask something. Ask, because I'd rather have someone ask than them making assumptions. But anyway, that solidarity is very important. Us Palestinians do appreciate it. We love all the support. We love all the solidarity. Again, it does give us hope. And it makes us feel like we're not alone. Since for 3 years now, I've never felt like I was alone because we've got so many good people here.
All right. Is there an answer? This is like, we've got 5 minutes left of the show, but this, like, there's probably hours worth of talking in this. But
yeah.
If you went to Palestine right now and you sat down the Palestinians and you said, "What do you want?" Right? Like, give us what's your solution? Is there anything that you can kind of go, we just want a piece of land where we just be ourselves and just be allowed to self-govern and look after ourselves? And would it be as simple as that, or is it more complicated?
Well, that's what we want.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think with the violence nowadays, I don't think that's achievable, unfortunately. I imagine Palestine just being a peaceful land. We want peace. We've always wanted peace. We will always continue to achieve peace. Just people living, speaking different languages, having different religions, no guns, no power, no people telling you what to do, no one controlling your money, no one controlling your imports, outports, no checkpoints. You can go to the sea if you want to go to the sea. You can go to Al-Aqsa Mosque if you want to go to Al-Aqsa Mosque. We want peace.
Right.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
No.
But peace should be the answer.
Yeah. And it seems weird that when that's what you're asking, just not to be killed.
Yep,
not
exactly.
not to be in
basic
conflict.
human rights. That's literally it. Just to be able to breathe and not worry about you breathing.
Yeah. What do you say to the people that say to you, well, what about Hamas?
Yeah.
Because that's something I see all the time. Like, you see that and they kind of go, yeah, but what about Hamas? You know, does if you support Palestine, you support terrorists. Well, what do you say to those people?
I say to them that there's so much more to Palestine. So much more to Palestine. Palestine has culture. Palestine has a language. Palestine has food, has spices, has heritage sites. I think we're way past that question. Way, way, way past it now. And they can go and see who's still doing the killing. That's what I would say to them.
Right.
Yep.
We've got 2 minutes.
Yep.
How would you like to end your time on the What's New Dunedin Facebook show?
Thank you for having me, first of all. As you said, we could literally be talking about this for hours and hours and hours. It's always a bit hard without having certain direction or certain questions, but thank you for our Palestinian whānau, for our Palestinian Solidarity Group. Again, if you're interested, there's Dunedin Palestine on Instagram and Dunedin for Justice of Palestine on Facebook.
So that's just some Facebook group. You can
yes,
join.
there's
I'm
a Facebook. Yep, you're in it, and an Instagram page. There is a movie fundraiser coming up at Yours Cafe next Sunday, the 14th, at 5 p.m. Koha entry. So I encourage everyone to come to that. I encourage everyone to just keep educating themselves on Palestine, read books, YouTube, whatever it is that you do, but please don't be complicit.
Yeah. And ultimately what we're asking for here, what everyone should be asking for here is actually very simple. It's one word, isn't it? It's peace.
Peace.
Peace. We don't want to be fighting anymore. You just want to have your part of the world and be left with your part of the world without someone else.
Yep. Just to enjoy being a human being. That's all.
You shouldn't have to ask for that, should you?
No.
That's the thing.
But for some reason, 2026, and we're asking for that. Simplest things.
Let's hope we find it. I'd like to see it in my lifetime. Like, genuinely, I'd like to see it in my lifetime, because at least that's something I could kind of tick off and go, oh, we've done
Inshallah.
that. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway,
God
thank
willing.
you very much. You're more than welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Just sit there while I round the show out. Thank you. Well, that's a wrap for this week. Thank you for tuning in. I've been Richard Knights, and you've all been wonderful. Remember, if you're looking for a robust, respectful adult debate about all things local and further afield, and a welcoming online community doesn't take itself too seriously, come and find What's News Dunedin on Facebook and join our fun. On next week's show, we'll be talking to Hannah Butson from iLead. I look forward to seeing you next Friday at 12 on OAR FM. And if you want to listen to the show again or simply share it with your friends, you can find the podcast at oar.org.nz or even on Spotify, YouTube, or your favourite podcast provider.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.